Namaste, Hong Kong. My name is Manav Tuli. I am the chef at Chaat at Rosewood, Hong Kong. And today I am going to make a fish curry and stuffed mushroom pork paratha. It'll be refreshing. It'll be very good for the body, mind, using all the good properties of coriander, where it has anti-inflammatory properties. It is good for your heart. Also, we will be using sesame oil, but not in too much quantity. We'll mix and match with regular vegetable oil and sesame oil. So it gives a balanced and refined taste. The philosophy that I really love about using any meat, for that matter, or fish or pork or beef, the thing is that particular being has given its life to feed you. So ideally, no body part of that particular being or that animal should be wasted. That's what I always firmly believe in. So we are going to use the fish fillets and the head to make the fish curry. But the bones, we can use it to make a stock or a soup, or if you are cooking the curry itself, you can wrap it around in a cheesecloth and put it in the curry and let it simmer. It will give all the goodness to you. So it's really nice to have each and every body part of the animal being used. Any white fish will go with this kind of a curry. I would not suggest you any red meat fish. Any oily fish would not be great with this, because we are making a recipe which is very fresh in nature. So a simple fish, white fish, would be great. So we have filleted the fish. We are going to use this part for the curry. Now we are going to do all the mise en place for our fish curry. It's very simple fish curry. What we have to do is cut all the green ingredients. So the only part of the coriander that we are not going to use is the root part. This part can be used for making your stock, soup and sauces. All you have to do is just roughly chop it and keep it on the side. For the spring onion also we'll do the same. Again, just remove this part, roughly chop it. Whenever you get coriander or spring onion from the market, chances are there will be a lot of debris, dirt in that. So what I do is I take a deep container, put half filled with water, and put your coriander and your spring onion in there. Give it a stir and all the dirt will settle down. What we are going to do is we are going to make the base for our fish curry. And what we'll do is we'll add a little bit of vegetable oil and a little bit of sesame oil. Sesame oil and fish really goes well. Half and half, 50-50 is a good ratio to follow. We are going to keep half of the garlic and half of the ginger for paratha mix, and the rest we will use it for fish. This part you cook it at high heat because you don't want to cook it for very long time. After sauteing the onion for a minute or so, then you add the ginger and the garlic and the red chili. I love garlic, I love ginger. Ginger is very good for the throat, garlic is very good for your heart. Here what we are looking for is just to cook the ginger, the garlic and the onion from the outside, so that it does not give a raw taste. When you see that garlic and ginger and onion has started getting slight color, you can add the soaked coriander and the spring onion. Pick it up from the top so that the dirt does not come along with that. You don't have to cook too much, only the coriander and the spring onion should just sweat a little. It should get soft and then we will remove it. Now take it out in a plate or a pan and leave it in an area which is cool. We want it to get cold and then we will make a paste out of this. So this will be the base for our green fish curry. So just flatten it out, don't dump it at one place so that the steam can escape. Now we are going to work on the mushroom and pork stuffed paratha. Mushrooms I've chopped it in the blender because then it will be easier to make a mix of it with spices, onion and pork, and then it will be easier to stuff it into the paratha, into the dough. You don't need too many pans for this. We can do the cooking in one pan itself. We are going to chop the ginger, little bit of garlic. The cuttings should not be very fine. It should be chopped but not very fine. I just used 2-inch piece of ginger and I'm using 5 cloves of garlic. For the stuffing we are also going to use the pork luncheon meat. We won't use the whole thing now. We'll use only part of it. The rest can be used for some other day. So now we are making the stuffing. We are going to use minimum amount of oil, not too much, because we don't want the stuffing to be greasy. When the onions have sauteed a little, add the ginger and the garlic. Now we are going to add a little bit of salt, but be careful on the salt because the pork luncheon meat will already have salt. Now add the mushroom. Mushroom will have water, so cook it at a bit higher flame so that the water gets evaporated immediately. If the mixture is wet, it will be very difficult for you to stuff it inside the paratha. It will tend to ooze out, which you don't want. So make sure the moisture, extra moisture is always evaporated and it is a bit dry and firm textured. We will also add a little bit of black pepper. See, it's almost dry now, and that's it. I'm just going to add a little bit of oyster sauce. I love oyster sauce with mushrooms. So just a little bit of oyster sauce just for the flavor. But again, oyster sauce also have salt, so be careful. Now we can take it out and again leave it on the side to get it cooled down. Now we will make our paratha. We are going to use plain flour. Paratha being an Indian bread, always there are a few things you should keep in mind. One is, of course, what you are going to make the dough with. You can make it with water. I prefer to add always a coconut milk or a little bit of milk in there because then it keeps more soft for a longer time. Some flour, a little bit of salt and 1 egg. I'm using coconut milk today because half of the can I'll use it for making the paratha, the rest half I'll use it for making the add it into the fish curry. So nothing is wasted again. Whenever you are making paratha or any dough for that matter, always keep little bit of oil on the side. Don't add too much of the coconut milk beforehand or else the dough might go very wet, which you don't want. It will be difficult to handle. Because we have added the egg and the coconut milk, it will be stickier than the regular dough. But then that is where the oil comes into play now. You add little bit of oil onto your hand and apply it to the flour and you will see the dough starts behaving in a different manner. So we are dividing the dough into equal parts. So you will get basically equal size parathas. Always apply a little bit of flour at the base so that it does not stick to the base. Apply a little oil on the top so that the top of the dough ball does not get dry. Now what we'll do is we'll finish the stuffing. So the spam that we opened before, now we can add into the mushroom mix. So spam can be a good alternative to using pork mince or beef mince. So now what you have to do is take the dough ball, flatten it out from the center, working on the corners so that the corners are thin, and then stuff it in. Get as much stuffing in as possible, because more the stuffing, more the taste. Make sure that the back of the paratha is closed properly and keep it on the side. Now we will make the fine paste of the green coriander and spring onion that we cooked before. Make sure it is cooled down properly, because if it is hot, it might just splutter on you when you are making a paste. Make the paste as fine as possible. Now we are going to marinate the fish. So for that, just add a little bit of salt and little bit of turmeric powder. In Indian cuisine, we always add turmeric to fish, because if any germs are there, it kills it. I will also add a little bit of sesame oil for the flavor and some amount of lemon juice. As none of the part of the fish is wasted, so we are also going to cook the fish heads along with the fish. So we can marinate it together, and then it will give good flavor to the curry. Now we are going to pan fry the fish and then keep it on the side. Whilst the oil is getting heated, we can chop 1/4 of onion for the curry. Let's start with the fish heads. What we are doing here is we are sauteing the fish in oil, and then we'll keep it on the side, and then we'll use the same oil for cooking our curry. In our restaurant, what we do is the meat of the fish is always used for cooking as a kebab. The fish heads are left over, which we use it for flavoring all our fish curries. So nothing is wasted. The idea behind what we are doing today is using only one pan for cooking. So in the same pan we made the base of the curry, in the same pan we are sauteing the fish, in the same pan we'll finish the curry. You can use the same one to make the paratha also. The idea here is not to cook the fish, but to just saute a little bit. The fish is still raw and it will be finished in the curry. But definitely the skin gets a bit crispier and gives a different taste to the curry. So now we have finished sauteing the fish. Now into the same oil we will add some amount of sliced onions and sliced tomatoes. Just add the onions first. Add some salt now, because it will be easier to mix it. You don't need to cook it a lot. Add the sliced tomatoes. Adding tomatoes will give slight amount of tartiness to the fish curry. Just saute the onion and tomato for a minute, and then you can add the green paste. Now the coconut milk, half of the can that was left, you can add that. It will give creaminess and natural sweetness to your fish curry. We'll just wait for it to boil a little. The moment it starts boiling, we'll add the fish. When the fish curry is boiling, the heat should be medium. But the moment you add the fish, lower down the heat. It should simmer at a very slow pace for 2 to 3 minutes, and that's it. There will be some oil left in the plate. Don't throw anything. It all has flavor. We will finish it with lemon juice, but never add lemon juice while cooking. For Indian cooking, always lemon juice is added off the flame. So whenever you feel that the fish is now cooked and it's ready, so switch off and then squeeze on the lemon or the lime. That's it. Now the fish curry is ready. Keep it on the side. It is still hot and warm. By the time it is still getting its fish juices out into the curry, we will start with the paratha now. Paratha always can be rolled with a rolling pin, but then if you don't have a rolling pin, just flatten it out with your hand. Keep the heat low. You don't need to keep it at a very high temperature. Dust off the extra flour because that will spoil your pan. It's fairly round, and just add it to the pan. Because my base of the pan is smaller, that's why I made a smaller paratha, and it is good enough for me. If you have a wider pan, please go ahead and make a wide paratha. Just keep a little bit of oil handy, not too much. If you notice, I don't add oil at first. I add oil only when slight brown specks start appearing on the paratha. The oil that you get into the pan is very less, so you still get the color. Always work on a slow flame with the paratha. The slower the flame, the crispier you will get on the side. If you want to take away to eat it at a different meal time, this will work perfectly fine. This dough will not be stretchy and chewy after some time. It will be super nice and super soft. And always work on the sides of the paratha. That's one of the secrets. And here you go, your paratha is ready. So now here you have the green fish curry. We can finish it with the garnish of red chili that we have used. Stuffed mushroom and spam paratha with green fish curry. Thank you.